so it's way more of a wild card than the Luna. Like, you know what you can expect from the Luna. Like, if you get farm, you could like group up and do stuff. With this Bristleback, you know, sometimes you get lucky in fights, or you just like, oh well, I literally just think this guy is 100% dead.
He's super dead, Joe. They made this massive
Sorry.
going all the way around the world, and it pays off at the end of the day with them being able to find this kill onto the Bristleback. Feels bad to be you, good sir. Game is hard. Well,
yeah, we're at 8.25% now.
Bowie's out you with the live betting odds. Make sure that you are following. Oh my goodness. That is not the start that you want in that situation. And who got the first blood, actually, the hits? Oh, it's Moonmeander.
Yeah, I mean, could have been worse, right? Maybe if the Jug gets it, or even the Bristleback gets it, it's definitely a little bit more scary, because you're going to be laning against them. But yeah, that's what you're going to be facing against, that early warding death. And at least they do have the sustain here. The Warlock wasn't in position to heal the Bristleback as soon as he got engaged upon, so in the lane, I don't think he should struggle that much. The problem is, the Warlock has to play in the lane with the Bristle, because it's very easy for Moonmeander to kind of pound his Warlock. So I do like that he plays like this. The problem is, he's not going to be able to pull very well, and the creep equilibrium might suffer because he doesn't want to go away from Realm. In fact, they're actually doing a lot of damage to Saber like him.
Nice, fine. Is he? Another like ramification of how they're playing this lane is there's going to be a little bit of experience denied away from Realm. So, and has to share a bit more than he's accustomed to on this Bristleback, but all for a good purpose of keeping him alive. I love how Saberlight and Moonmeander are really pushing things to the edge here, but it's only level 1 Crow Sprays. Strong as they are, they're not completely game-breaking just yet, so still potential to keep surviving for as long as possible. And eventually the regen will start kicking in for Saberlight, and he'll be fine in this lane. It's not that deep.
Oh, by the way, Moonmeander has vision of the Bristle's courier. This could be...
He's zoning it right now, preventing the courier from coming to lane. He's literally putting his body on the line. Zone the courier. It's so funny.
Alright, nice control there from Realm. I mean, I kind of like the play there. Realm was just spamming quills like crazy because he wanted to get that level 2 to try and pressure the Timber. But because he died, it was actually the Warlock that gets level 2, and he didn't. So kind of unfortunate also, you know, because Warlock is literally sapping experience the whole time. It means Realm doesn't get that much experience. But a nice attempt. I think they definitely, you know, screamed one time, tried to play this way. Pretty...
Dude, Moonmeander's actually just griefing Realm. He not only was griefing him with the courier plays, but Realm finally got the salve off. They dropped the salve behind the tower. They made the Warlock act as a pseudo courier, and then Moonmeander just rocket flares him to deny the salve usage.
I saw
just
that,
making life as difficult for Realm as possible. But on the other side of the map, though, here in this mid lane, I Annihilate. We spoke about the matchup of this Batrider into the Razor. And that's we don't see solo kills in the mid lane as much these days as we used to. That is pretty huge, but is the matchup that favored that Annihilate should be able to get away with this, or is he just overplaying his hand right now?
No, I mean, it's definitely a little bit Batrider favored, but he definitely played well. Also, like, it's not even the kill, but 5 creeps died there. So Bryo actually losing way more than just the death. Really important play. Like, this is the type of plays that they need to do so that the early movements that TSM will apply don't feel as impactful. Because I think they kind of went even in the late in game 1, and they just got totally outmaneuvered. They need to do a little bit better, which right now I do feel like they're doing a good job. You could see, you know, the DP doing well in CS. Batrider sure doesn't have a lot of CS, but getting that kill, it's very impactful.
Speaking of the old Batrider, or old DP, she almost got ran down by the Juggernaut, but she's still alive right now. Ooh, actually almost died from the rocket flare. 60 HP.
Don't jinx it, dude. I started saying good things about the first, like he just died, so be careful. They have great power.
I think the only solution, we can't actually talk about KDUS at all. Like, we have to somehow cast the game while only mentioning them in abstract terms.
The offlaner is... and even that way, it's kind of... It doesn't work. But yeah, the CS is getting kind of like a problem now. There's a lot of denies on that Razor. The Batrider still recovering. But he will get level 6 way before Brile. So that is another point where Annihilate could actually start skewing things back to him. He has, you know, the Flame Break and the Firefly now. If he actually gets an early lasso with the next 1 or 2 waves, it could be problematic for Bio. The supports are actually playing the lane quite a bit. Moon Meander is showing. So there's no one to really help Brile right now.
Fortunately, there's also nobody to help the MMR tourist as he gets ran down by Dubu and Timado. We didn't talk about this lane all that much, but it's a little bit of a classic, the Jakiro into the Juggernaut matchup. As soon as you get slowed by one of the Jack spells, you just get spanned into oblivion. And they're utilizing this quite well on this side. We're talking about the CS becoming rampant for Brawl through this mid lane, but becoming a bit of a problem from Timado as well. He's farming extremely well down bottom. He's already ahead.
Annihilate was kind of AFK here. He was just standing in lane. He's doing it again. Did he DC? Okay. Well, maybe he was buying items. It felt really weird. He was like not moving for 10 seconds, just looking at the Razor. But yeah, I do feel like that bottom lane is. Oh, there you go. That's the problem for Warlock. Yep. You can't really leave the lane. DP dies.
Feels bad. Oh god. Monkey King had already, I think, he wasn't in position to throw out the Bounder Strikers too far away. This Warlock will end up dying as well, close to this Roshan pit. Brawl end up with a rundown on that hero. It's starting to go a little bit, not, let's just say euphemistically, this is not what they any of these side lanes right now.
Yeah, and you can see that the Jakir is already rotating. It's minute 6, so he wants to help with the runes. But that also means that if an Annihilate goes for an aggressive play, which right now he actually doesn't have vision of the Jakiro, now he does, he could be in great trouble. Is he going for this?
Moon Meander's coming in as well. There's the lasso onto Brawl. They actually are going to go for this, and they have enough damage to take out this Razor. Nicely done by Annihilate. They want Moon Meander too. He will reach in for this sentry, or this Invis rune, excuse me. There's no sentries available from the Warden, I don't think, so they can't reveal the clockwork. So it's just going to be a quick pick off onto this Razor. Annihilate showing the power that this hero has right now. They might go for more. Dubu, Primal Spring will not connect onto him. So he's allowed to escape this little skirmish in this mid lane. Okay, good stuff here. Nice promise from Annihilate. If you don't go to the other lane to make a gank happen, make the other lanes come to you, and that's what they need to get the kill.
Oh, for sure. That was really nicely done. You know, kind of an aggressive play from Dubu, really. He showed in the wave pretty early. But still, this Batrider really kind of carrying this game so far. But the Warlock, that's going to be such a sad game for this Warlock. I think we might see like double digits in deaths for him this game.
Yeah, he's screwed. He's not going to have a fun time. He's going to do his duty and give up his life for the cause. His mid lane, they lose Batrider, but the more interesting kill was the kill onto Timado down bottom. They left the DP alone with the Juggernaut, and we finally see the strength of that hero. Able to bring down the safe lane on the side of TSM. In this top lane, Realm needs help. And he needs it soon because he's losing a lot of HP and he's also losing the tower slowly but surely. He actually might die here. He needs to be very careful. Moon Meander looking for a way in onto the Warlock. They're aggressing onto both of them simultaneously, so they can't help each other. Realm calling for reinforcements, and they will come, but will they be here in time is the question. No, they won't. They've already brought down this Bristleback, so they realize the futility of the TP and they go ahead and cancel it. And they're also chasing MMR Tourist down bottom. Timado's banned though, so now he's in trouble. Flame Break will end up pushing him back. He didn't get the kill, and that's always the issue with the Juggernaut. If you reach too far and you don't get what you need, suddenly you find yourself having overextended. But he does die. Top lane still goes successfully overall for TSM. But, you know, it does seem like there's an opening there. Juggernaut not having the best game after a decent laning phase. Maybe KBUUS can keep exploiting that to find something on the map.
It's a huge kill because the Jug actually has TP on cooldown for 30 seconds. So he's going to have to walk. And somehow they killed that Jugger twice without using Exo. Unfortunately, there's no mana on MMR Tourist right now, but still, this is a huge breath of fresh air, and it's already a much more compelling start for them compared to game 1. One problem that I see is this Bristle, though. He actually came back to try and defend top. He died. So I really feel like he should just be focusing in farming right now. He has that Vanguard, already has a stack going for him. Yeah, I think they should start kind of collapsing bottom, forcing that tower with the Exo, and just allow this Bristle to recover, because that's their way back into this game, I think.
One of the ways you can also create space is by forcing the enemy to make moves that do not connect, wasting their time. And MMR Turret did a fantastic job of that and knew that the rotation was coming. And I also called for reinforcements. If I Annihilate can get in the trees, I'm not sure if he got scouted though by this rocket flare from Moon Meander. It is possible. You need to be careful though about where they move into this lane, because I Annihilate, as we've seen elsewhere on the map, does a ton of magic damage right now. Moon Meander is going for the early Spirit Vessel, as we spoke about in the drop. It's a very good game for it. I don't think they catch him. They don't have Blink Dagger. No Blink. Can't really close the gap enough. Not just yet, anyway.
I mean, it was a good attempt, but unfortunately, the Timber wasn't close enough for that to connect. And yeah, I would love to see them actually just play bottom. The Catapult Wave is coming. MMR Taurus is actually looking really strong right now. So he popped his ulti by himself. I could see this being punished quite a bit. There's only a level 4 Warlock nearby. And there you go. The TPs are coming. Oh, the fact that they show top might be a problem here for KBU. We'll see what happens.
Taurus is sitting in the trees, just letting the ghost do the dirty work. Moon Meander and Dubu. Some pretty interesting heroes to have here, but they're bringing in I Annihilate. They haven't brought any core heroes on the side of TSM, so they're going to end up losing the tower, and if they're not careful, losing some lives as well, as Dubu gets hit with the flame break back. He is dead for sure. And look at I Annihilate. Good patience out of him. Choosing not to use the lasso, so they still have it available. I wouldn't be surprised if they just had to actually smoke up, maybe head towards middle. But they know both Brawl and Realm want to jump onto the Bristleback, and Bristleback will be fine. It's going to be okay. Saberlight put in a little bit of damage, but not enough to really threaten him. Now here they come. I Annihilate was thinking about trying to throw in a flame break there, but decided against it at the end of the day. They're just happy and content with defending the tier 1 tower in this mid lane.
Oh, Martyrs though. That's trapped. There's still hook shot.
Oh, it's fine. It's gonna live. Moon Meander is the one that's in danger instead. Look at this response from KBU US. They immediately came. I like what I'm seeing here, Bowie. They're starting to adapt to this matchup. They're feeling it out. They're making some confident moves around this map. And what's the odds calculator at right now? Is it still as low as it was right after the first blood?
I think we're back at 10%. That's definitely a good showing. You know, those deaths on the Juggernaut really kind of put Timado on hold. He's not really like considering helping in any fight. He really wants to finish that Maelstrom. The Razor isn't really a proactive hero. Like, he can react to ganks and dives really well, but can't really just like smoke and do stuff, which really gives KBU the upper hand in these movements we're watching. Once the EXO is back up on DP, we could even see this mid-tier 1 tower being forced a bit. So yeah, definitely like what I'm seeing right now. The Bristleback on the way towards that Axe has some good stacks for himself, and Moon Meander could even be in trouble.
Saberlight who comes in, and here we go. They want to go in. Golem does get dropped at the very end here. Warden very close to dying. Is not going to end up ticking out. Instead, they do manage to get the pick off onto Moon Meander. Huge macro pyre with the ice pod coming in from Dubu, but it's not going to be enough to save the life of our Timbersaw. He will be allowed to TP out though at the very last second, surviving with a sliver of HP, but it's enough. 2-for-1 trade there. Saberlight as well as the Moon Meander clock end up dying. And that was a very aggressive move though.
The Monkey King denied himself to Roche, so that was not even a
denied.
Yeah, he just hit Roche. Really good moves, and that's gonna be a 3-2-1 power, I think. They did use hookshot in that fight. They used Macropire in that fight. If they do try to fight for this, it could be hard to see. No, they do show enough to. Yeah, it's very important to defend this tier 1 tower. Now there is a Maelstrom available for Timado, so he definitely feels a little bit stronger.
I mean, they also realize now though that the ghosts are gonna go away, so no ghost, no exorcism, no lasso, no chaotic offering. All these huge ultimates are down. They might not have Macropire,
Smoke,
and Eye of the Storm, but they feel so strong. With this hookshot from Moon Meander, they're gonna start this fight onto MMR Turret. Will force off out to safety here, but the Ice Pod catches both him and the Warden. There's so much danger. Huge Botless strike onto 3, but it's not gonna save the Death Prophet. The Saberlight will get the forward reach and get the kill. They don't have any way to stop them from leaving. We just spoke about all these ultimates being down, and sadly, Bowie, the ultimate is also the only source of control.
Yeah, I mean, good. It's a good smoke. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Like, they not only defend, but they get a really good smoke. They wrap around. The 4-step is a really... I was gonna say that I love the 4-step purchase on DP. Usually you don't see that. You see just like, you know, Scepter or BKB rushes. But it was a 5-man rotation, so even the 4-step wasn't enough. And this opens up the map quite a bit. You know, and that's what we're talking about with TSM. Even when it feels like they kind of don't get the best lanes for them in terms of drafting or in terms of actual play, they do get these movements at the right time that just matter so much more than the lanes, it feels like.
Dota 2 is not simply a game of the laning phase. Much more to it than that.
Not at all.
Now. TSM.
It is a mental
You can sort of
game.
tell that. You know how I love about Dota? If you just were a layman, right? You look at this game and it's like 9-8. It is a relatively even game, but you can just tell like where they're playing on the map, who's ahead right now. Yes, it's 1k gold lead. They have the same amount of kills, relative net worth on all their core heroes. But pretty much all this action is taking place on the KBUU side of the map rather than on the TSM side of things. And the only place they can play aggressively from KBU is here in this Radiant jungle, but even then, they're still so cautious. Annihilate can't actually aggress into the area. That's while TSM are making the Dire jungle their home right now. So nice to watch.
Yeah, but still, you know, much closer game than game 1, which makes me very happy. And there's a lot of timings here for KBU that will make them look really strong. The Axe is about to be finished here for a round. He needs about 600 gold. The BKB on Batrider being done at pretty much the same time is definitely what they need to kind of force that mid-tier 1 tower. I would love to have seen them using that catapult, but I don't blame them for waiting. But, you know, as they wait, they get a really good hook shot on Moon.
Best possible hook shot on the best possible target. He doesn't have BKB, he does have his Aghanim Scepter, and he's using it to actually almost bring down the Clockwork. They killed both Clock and Razor. Okay, Fatal Bond from the Warlock helping to turn that fight around. They couldn't get out the damage in time, and now they pop these Ghost of Warlock. They want to pursue this fight. Saberlight trying to get himself away onto the high ground. Won't be allowed to do so. Dubu, though, doesn't have that same luxury, so Annihilate easily runs him down with this Batrider. Timado just chilling on the high ground, gets off the zombie slash. Can they bounce it between these heroes? Yes, they can. MMR Tourist, though, getting spanned on by Timado. Do they have the damage to kill the Death Puppet? Yes, they do. No more ghosts available for this fight. But it ends up being a 3-for-1 engagement. That was TSM smoke. They wanted to reveal this BKB on the Razor, and they end up doing so. But he popped BKB a little bit too late, already after suffering damage from the Fatal Bonds. So it ends up being a very good fight for KBU US.
And dude, that's what I was talking about with like Bristle. Like if it's a Luna, as farmed as she was, I don't think there was ever a point where the Luna gets so many kills and lives there. With Bristleback, he's just another tier of a hero. And he was just facing back as the Macropyre and the Clockwork were dishing so much damage. He got like 5 to 6 quill stacks so easily with his Warpath, and it was just, I'm sorry, with the Bristleback. Just really, I don't want to say lucky, but you know, that's what this hero does. It's really hard to gank him. They don't have a break on their draft so far, and it's gonna take a while. There's no natural Silver Edge buyer there.
Why didn't they go with Saberlight on that bench? Because it did feel like if they had maybe a Chakram or Whirling Death or 2, they might have had enough damage. Like the 3 heroes that they went with could probably kill most heroes except for the Bristleback, but yeah, Bristleback also such a nice target. Like, why do you think they left Saberlight behind?
I mean, I wasn't paying attention, but I think he was about to finish. He was finishing the Lotus Orb when that fight happened. He did show with the Lotus Orb later. But, you know, sometimes happens. Also, going for like 5-man rotations are kind of obvious. So a lot of times you don't see these teams going. You know, unless you're contesting Roche or you're really in a hurry. Going for 5-man smokes, 4-man smokes, it's much easier to read as the opposing team. That probably has something to do with that. Speaking of Roche, they're just gonna force this. But,
nothing on the map right now. This is what they see on the map on KBU. Practically nowhere where TSM is, so easy Roche. Saberlight just has this one up. Give the Aegis, of course, towards Timado, because you do not want to give Razor an Aegis, at least at this stage of the game, before he has a refresher online. Alright, that's something. Timado is now in a position where he is almost fully caught up from where he was supposed to be in this game. Yasha Maelstrom gonna finish the Aghanim shot, and once they get that shot and start creating some of these bigger stacks from him, very quickly his net worth is gonna shoot up and match or maybe even surpass that of the Bristleback. So KBS can't let off the tempo, even though they are playing into an Aegis. I don't want to see them playing defensively, like, they still need to try and be on a forward-facing position, forcing TSM to make moves around the map, not just sit back and farm for the next few minutes. big right-click threat. But we're back into the game now, fam. Let's see if MMR Tourist has been listening. Pop the Ghost, man. Just press R. Well, looks like TSM is, they're gonna come respond. They popped the glyph. Saberlight is here. They're not gonna let this happen. And now Ice Pod directly onto counter initiation, though. They'll counter break this with the big chaotic offering. Realm almost dies anyway, though. But now look at that. They get the silence out onto deep on the Juggernaut with the Spirit Siphon. Not enough at the end of the day to get a kill. Somehow nobody died in the fight just yet. Batrider with the BKB getting the last two to drag back the clockwork. But he will suffer a huge on his left from Timado at the same time. Ice Pod now connecting onto MMR Tourist. He doesn't have his BKB yet. They're still susceptible to these stuns from the Jakiro. 2 core heroes die in that fight. They both used their ultimates. Everything was popped by KBU US. And now they have nothing left to defend if they do want to push up from TSM. But they can do whatever the hell they want on the map right now after such a dominant showing in that fight.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, you know, you could see that even though the net worth is even, they are feeling so pressured on KBU because they know they should have more map control. But you know, that's kind of, you know, the mistake that they've been doing the whole game. They didn't force that tower early enough, and now they made the decision of force it with Aegis on the side of TSM. So he was, I mean, all things considered, it was not that bad, but still, they paid a pretty big price, and the Aegis still up on Timado. So now it's on TSM. They could go for an aggressive move if they want to, but that golem has a very hefty cooldown.
Yep. Still another 90 seconds before it's available. Isn't it I'm kind of surprised actually by what's been happening in this game. You know, when you're mentioning this map control and the relative lack of vision we just saw from them, usually when we see these position 4 Monkey Kings, part of the reason you pick him up is that he can create those pockets of vision for you a lot easier than most other heroes. It's kind of surprising that they are just behind on map control and vision despite first facing a hero that provides both of those things for you.
Yeah, it's just what happens when you're playing against quote-unquote, I mean, I'm not going to use quote-unquote. TSM is by no stretch the better team here, but they're just able to do way more with way less. And that's just what map movements, what being positioned in the map does to you. At the end of the day, I think this Bristleback pick for KBU was probably the best pick they could have gone for, because even though TSM actually did some pretty good mokes, you could see that this year is so hard to kill, especially because they don't have any breaks, that the map movements didn't achieve as much as maybe TSM even wanted to. Ideally, they would like to be even ahead, more ahead than they are right now. So I am still pretty satisfied with the way KBU is playing. I think, you know, it's not bad by any means, but you are playing against a better team, so you're bound to face the issues and problems they are right now.
I'm about to pick up the BKB on this Bristleback, so an upcoming power spike is going to be quite nice. And it's also going to coincide with the exploration of this Aegis on the side of Timado. So that might give them the confidence and the juice they need to try and force a fight. We do see Timado now also starting to queue up after his Eye of Study, that Silver Edge. This combination of items, Study into Silver Edge. Bristleback just hate light as soon as you see this being completed, so want to definitely be in a further position before that happens. He is still farming very, very well. Top of the net worth. And it's being caught up to by this Juggernaut, but could really have been worse, like you were mentioning earlier. We'll see if this can continue, though, as they are now starting to move and congregate to the top side of the map. They want this final tier 1 tower. MMR Tourist wants an easy target for Exorcism in this game. And he also is about to finish BKB. If they can finish off the tower without getting the ghosts out, he'll finish off the BKB, and then they can go for an ensuing fight. However, the fight coming to them here, Bowie, they want to try and force this. Moon Meander with the Spirit Vessel. This is very poor positioning for KBU UF. They might end up getting caught out, but a 2-hero Boundless Strike ends up in a great position. Dugu goes down the ice spot. They try to TP out. They drop the Golem, but they miss the Jakiro. He's allowed to escape this fight. Warden gets spanned down by Timado. They did manage to right-click down Moon Meander, though, thanks to Realm. However, Realm now realizing that he's in danger. His BKB has now expired. Brown chasing him with the BKB of his own, but the last 2 is going to be out. He's the sole target of all this Exorcism damage, and it's really getting him low. But he gets bailed out by Saberlight. Can't get bailed out long enough, though. Will eventually end up dying. Timado does not come in. Get off the GG slash. Will be able to utilize it as well as the spin to bring down MMR Tourist. Realm wants to bring down Saberlight before he loses his own life, or maybe just get out himself. And as Saberlight does die, the question is, will Realm be able to escape? And with these obnoxious boost stacks, courtesy of this Aghanim Scepter, he will be allowed to move into the north part of the map. He is A-OK. Massive chaos happening here in the dire side of the map. 6 heroes end up dying overall. Does feel like KBUS are much happier with this. 2 cores dying, both of them next to Bristleback as he does so. So he's a lot more farmed, a lot more experienced, and a lot more dangerous as a result of that fight.
Dude, it's crazy how that fight ended up going so effectively because the Jakiro TP'd at the beginning, so he was not there the whole time, and the Golem was only using the clockwork, and even still, KBU took a great fight, and they're fighting again, and that's what Bristle shines. Like, he doesn't have any downtime with his spells. This is 2 supports dead, and I don't think that Timado Juggernaut can get anything here.
He's like, everybody's dead too soon. He thought about it though. You can only see the carry players really thinking about like how far can I go into this fight. But unfortunately for him, he realizes that the Aghanim shot does not make him invincible. So backs off. That's another 2 kills. Shout out to our Rel Bristleback, who's even stronger. And you know, we were talking earlier about how he's struggling a little bit with armor. Now we're gonna start building into the AC. BKB AC Aghanim Scepter, he's definitely gonna be by far the strongest hero in the map before these silver edges come out from the Juggernaut.
Well, yeah. One thing that I want to see from KBU, and it's probably going to dictate whether they'll actually have a clear chance of winning this game, is I want to see them posturing around Roche. I want to see vision there, because from the fights you can see that they actually have stronger team fight than TSM, but they cannot really give Roshan away like they did in the first one. I really feel like they were in a position to either stop that or to even take it themselves. So this time, if they actually get Aegis, they actually have a clear chance of winning this game. Bristleback is getting way out of control. And, those items you're talking about, they matter. But if the Bristle has 2 lives, they matter a little bit less. And those items are also taking a bit. Scotty into Silver. Silver is a 5k gold item. As farmed as Timado is, it's still going to be a ways away.
Yep. I mean, that's 10,000 gold that he needs to spend, right? Just to be able to counter out what Bristleback is doing. Not a cheap outlay by any stretch of the imagination, but it can certainly be worthwhile. Top lane, Warden scouts out Saberlight, almost cut down the trees, but now, with this Boundless Strike, maybe they open up onto Saberlight. We actually see a Wukong. It feels like it's the first one we've seen this entire game. Unfortunately for him, though, Saberlight does have Lotus Orb. Easily gets rid of the silence, and he's out, he's gone. KBUS, they will not be deterred. They smoke up immediately. Annihilate does have Blink Dagger now. So this is a great reveal on this item if they can find a good target. Do they have vision? Not just yet. Will they be able to reach here? Ice Pop, no! That just pulls support to the back end of the fight. There will be a chaotic offering drop down, but Moon Meander has successfully broken things up right now. On the other side of things, they got Timado though, with the Exorcism, Ghost, and Realm, just hitting him all by his lonesome. Somehow, someway, even though they got a very good Ice Pop to start the fight, and even though Moon Meander got a very decent cogs initially, it turns out the cogs were actually against his own team because the supports go north, but all the cores stay south right around the Juggernaut, and they can bring him down from 100 to 0.
I mean, first of all, really nice warding there because TSM was not ready to fight at that spot, and KBU actually dropped 2 wards there, so they had the vision advantage the whole time. Now, you want to try and stop this, you buys 2 seconds, but this is not looking good for TSM.
2-0 Boundless struck up. The Warden does die for this though, but Rel might have opened up space to kill Brawl, but he got hit with the Spirit Vessel. He doesn't have BKB anymore. He needs to run away from Brawl ASAP. Brawl doesn't want to chase him though, not feeling confident doing it. Saberlight gets up onto the high ground, but it's so difficult to fight into Bristleback even when that hero was low. And they feel so skittish about it. You're starting to see the fear of the Armadillo getting to the side of TSM. They might not be able to kill Bristleback, but the primary mission is accomplished. They do prevent the Roshan attempt from KBUS, and they reset long enough for Timado to respawn, and they can now come and recontest themselves.
Dude, Dubu is such a good player. Like, he literally goes in, gives his life away, and at first you're like, this guy is feeding. What's up with this guy? But he actually forced a lot of cooldowns on him. He actually made them leave the pit, which buys time for TSM to join. And now they're actually just getting roached, even though KBU has been winning pretty much every fight this game.
Wow. Okay. Well, there's another Aegis free shot. Who does the shot go to? They get the flamethrower out onto Saberlight, so he gets some free gold and network. this must be such a frustrating experience, Baru. Like you're winning every fight, like you said, and then you don't even lose a fight. You just don't win one, and you lose Roshan. Suddenly, you can't play as aggressively further forward. You know, we needed Rum to have those double lives against the Juggernaut, but when Jug has the double lives into you, you know, they're gonna finish the Skadi. They're gonna try to force a fight. And it's like, well, let's see just how tanky this Bristleback is. You know, you're gonna definitely kill me once, but killing me twice becomes a very different proposition. Game is hard. Middle. Oh no, look who they found. And then onto like so dead. Super dead. Oh no. Also, do you like this? You went back to the Yule Scepter after the BKB and the 4-star. I'm not so sure how I feel about this, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I feel like a bigger item would probably be more impactful here, especially considering they're actually winning a lot of fights. The top though, they find the Warden.
No, everyone's just gonna run away, I think. Yeah, they're fine.
They're not.
Everyone's fine. It's just a Warlock. We already, like, we take for granted the Warlock.
Support lives matter, dude. Come on.
Dude, I play Warlock all the time, and I take for granted that I'm gonna die if heroes look at me. That's fine. It's okay sometimes.
I'm pretty sure he was not fine. He's sad right now. But yeah, this
killing in the fountain.
It's crazy how, like, you know, a lot of people love to think that Dota is about Melee's dead, but they love to think that Dota is about, you know, clicking buttons and being like having fast reaction times, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Like, you know, Moon Meander, 32 years old. This guy is he's pretty much like 75 if you compare that to like people 100 years ago, and they're owning, and that's because way more about decision making than it is about clicking buttons. And you can see how TSM's decisions overall, like on average, are superior, because I really feel like the way KBU got those lanes, the way they got those fights, it feels like they should be so much more ahead than they are. But yeah, it's all TSM's credit for playing an amazing game.
Dire's middle tower.
You know, in retrospect, it does feel like a lot of KBU was just down to how well Ram was doing. He certainly has put the entire team on his Bristleback. Haha. Try and make sure they have some prospect of winning this game. They're gonna try and force the defense middle right now. Ice Park connects. Timado's volume's fairly low. The other offering will catch him out as well. Moonzy and a good hookshot. Won't be able to create enough space just yet though. Timado spinning away to safety. Bound the strike still catches us, so they're gonna take away the first line. Rob at the same time also able to eliminate Moonzy and Macropire does get dropped, but it's not going to connect onto anybody. And does seem like TSM have been bounced out of the space. No more ages. The Batrider has now respawned, so they can create a very good fight. Saberlight putting his life on the line here to create space and time for Brown to escape the fight. He might actually die for this. Timado, he came back. He got lassoed up right now through the spin. He might still have an option to get off the key slash, and they've lost the oh no, that was not supposed to happen. Timado though, the Omnislash, it got juggled so well by you, but they don't have enough damage to kill him. Saberlight buys time with the Lotus Orb, and now comes into the base with the Chakram and the whirling death damage, and it's enough to kill Realm. He's forced to buy back almost instantly. Since they hold at the end of the day, but it's an expensive hold. The most important hero on the map has now brought back. So if he dies again, the game almost immediately ends for KBUS.
Up to that last one, the fight was really good for KBUS, but then I watched as I Annihilate brought that Jugger closer and closer to everyone else, and I was like, this is going to hurt. And I mean, it was actually so close because they actually got 2 flame breaks towards their base, but really nice and clutch Lotus from Timber actually dispelled both instances on the Jug, allowing him to live and ultimately killing the Bristleback. Just, you know, really nice execution from TSM. Still though, like the fights are, you can see KBU taking really good fights despite, you know, the ages advantage. But now they're a little bit behind in gold, and it does get a little bit harder. You know, the items are coming in. The Skadi on the Jug is ready. Feels like either Linken's or Silver Edge will be coming. So with the way the fight is going, they don't even feel like they need the Silver Edge on the Bristle right now, and they just want to make sure Timado doesn't die.
Also in that fight, once again, Moonmi ended up being hyper effective with the Spirit Vessel. Speaking of itemization, you know, we saw the DP die, which he still had Ghost Wave for another like 5 to 10 seconds, and they could have made a big difference. I'm really now starting to wonder how things could have been different had she gone even for like a casual plate mail in lieu of buying this Yule Scepter. Might have allowed her to stay alive that little bit longer to get out that damage. And it's like you were mentioning earlier, right? Dota is not just about these snap decisions in the moment. These little, small, micro decisions, they add up over time and create winning conditions for you.
Impossible.
Yeah. Speaking of winning conditions, dying and hitting away a gem, definitely not the best way to get to those winning conditions. But yeah, I agree. I also feel like, you know, talking about the DP, even a Wraith Pact doesn't strike me as a bad item in this game. There's a lot of, like, you know, the Macro Pyre gonna be doing damage the whole fight. This Timber Saw, I think, could have been more impactful than this expected. I haven't really... I'm not impressed with the use, unfortunately.
Well, he's gonna have to impress us very, very soon with this item, because they are coming in on the side of TSM for a tier 2 tower push. And they might just poke at the high ground a little bit just to say hello. They don't have any vision of where these heroes are though, so they can't take the risk. Well, it's level 25 now, so we do get the big warpath damage. So it's a massive threat in these fights. Unfortunately, now that he's become this massive threat, it's also down to a 6-second BKB. That means that the most important spell in this game, Liquid Fire, is suddenly an issue for him. But they're gonna smoke up right now. But I don't know who they even get from this. Like, they don't have any vision.
I don't usually do this, but I was reading chat and there's some hard-hitting questions you need to answer here. Is Bristleback a porcupine or an armadillo?
Surely an armadillo, right? The porcupines like spin up into a ball.
Okay.
But
I have
actually...
I have no idea what like.
Actually, no, it's hedgehogs that spin up. So he's actually a porcupine. He's a porcupine.
A porcupine?
Okay. Yeah. The pangolin would be an armadillo then.
Yes, I think that's that. No.
But he's a pangolin actually. Or pangolin.
Yes,
I don't
he's
know.
a pangolin. Well, he could be dead because there's 3 heroes on top of him.
He can ponder these questions while he's inside the fountain as well. Pops the BKB to try and turn this around. I Violet might be the first victim of this fight. Will be followed in by the Warlock as well. Quick buyback on the Warlock. And then Arturus, there's the value of the Yule Scepter. Dodging some of the damage coming in from the GG slash, but it's not going to keep him alive ultimately. I Annihilate though, find a wonderful land through onto Brown, bringing him inside the base in the Wukong command. It's going to be enough for them to get the kill onto Brown. 100 seconds in the grave, but Dubu with the Macro Pyre from downtown. All these heroes from KBUS need to run away from him right the hell now. He's trying to move away on Realm, making sure that he can still keep these heroes in contention. They bring back Saberlight. The Missile Blade will stun him up, but he does get out of it right now. Realm hasn't managed to kill him just yet. Does do a great dodge, dodging the Ice Top. We'll still be very, very careful. He did tick very low. Saberlight forced outside of the base. He's going to heal up for a little bit. This fight has been 2 for 2. The most important thing though, KBUS defend the base. It's an expensive hold again, but it's a hold, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, the problem is they have absolutely no control over the Roche area, and Gaben has blessed them with a very fast respawn timer. So once the KBU heroes respawn, Roche is also going to be up. They might just be a little bit too late. I mean, click on Dubu, dude.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Look how far he is right now. He's ahead of... I mean, he was ahead of the Clockwork. He is doing so much with that axe.
Look at the damage he did in that fight. With the axe and the telescope and the Acer lens, 4,300 damage coming in from that Macro Pyre. 5 ice pots being thrown out, 3 dual breaths. Dubu's actually owning right now. He's having a phenomenal... Not just this game, but this series. Like, we forget how good he was playing Game 1 on the Dazzle. And he's still out here, making everything happen for his team. Even under conditions where, you know, you would imagine that dragging a Razor into your base, it's great news, but it makes it a very costly move as well at the same time.
Oh, Monkey King trying to get some vision, but there's a lot of wards coming from TSM. Yep, probably dead.
That's the one thing you've been highlighting throughout this game. KBUU has not the greatest vision in the world relative to TSM, but this fight might not go that well for them. Brown, look about BKB there in front of the Bristleback. Look how much damage Bristle is taking. This double Eye of the Storm, not even the double, that was just one. Are you kidding me? One Eye of the Storm. Oh, that's why. Look what Razor's inventory. He's got the silver right here. I was wondering where on earth is this damage coming from, but it's because the Bristleback was broken. The passive wasn't there, and he's gone for 2 minutes. He brought back the last defense. The game might just be over here, Bowie.
Yeah, you know, we're talking about right choices and decisions. I feel like they had no business defending that Roche because there was no golem, there were no extra spirits. So like the difference between these really good tier 1 teams and tier 2 teams is that they have a way, like they're really good at poking Roche without really committing. So we saw TSM doing that with the second Roche, where they actually pushed KBU out. They didn't really take a fight, and then they waited for the other heroes just to join in and steal Roche. Here, I think that's what KBU wanted to do. They wanted to poke Roche, but the Monkey King goes in alone, right? Dies. Once he buys back, his team is engaging, but they don't have an outfall, so he has to walk the entire map. He's late. And oh, there we go. Speaking of him, the Warden has... I have no funds for that. I think he's just dead.
He's just very dead. MMR Tourist might follow him into the grave as well. And at least he'll get Mumianda on the way out. So that's at least some kind of consolation. But MMR Tourist, the sad part about this is they don't even bring the whole team here. They're gonna... Oh, wait, actually, he's got damage out with these ghosts onto the Batrider. But yeah, the base being sieged right now. Timado and Brow, they're like, alright, boys, y'all do you. Have fun. Enjoy playing with this Death Prophet. We are just gonna be taking everything. They were like, now just making sure that MMR Tourist does not leave. He doesn't have a TP interrupt, unfortunately, but I don't think MMR Tourist is interested in TPing home just yet. He wants to kill first. He's not going to get it, though.